Have you ever scrolled through the YouTube homepage and one of those odd videos with like 5 views pops up? Do you click those? Me personally, I only click on the really odd ones because my curiosity gets the better of me, but most people just skip over those low view videos. But why? Well, it's precisely because of that number. People will tell you that it's the quality of your thumbnail and title that define how many people click on your video.
That a good thumbnail could be the difference between 100 views and 100,000 views.
And whilst that definitely plays a part, it's not the most important thing. The biggest factor that determines if person number 10 clicks on your video is if the 9 other people already clicked on it. Yeah, this intro was a bit too dramatic. But what is social proof? In psychology, social proof is the driving factor behind success, failure, and conformity. It comes from the fact that we humans as a species are highly social. We judge what's good or bad based on how others react. If you ever walked past restaurants, you'd probably notice that some are always kind of empty, and others are always pretty much full. And if you had to pick where to eat, you're probably choosing the one with people. Because if people are eating there, the food has to be good. Now, if you hate sushi, it won't matter how packed the restaurant is. You'd still probably rather choose an empty burger joint. But if you were to choose between 2 burger joints, you're not picking the empty one. And this is the key point: social proof. Instead of experiencing something for ourselves that might turn out to be bad, our brains take a shortcut based on what others are already doing. We trust the crowd. On platforms like YouTube, where there's quite literally too much content, social proof is the deciding factor on what gets seen. Think of YouTube like a giant food court. Every video is a restaurant, and the view count is how many people you see inside. Most of us don't even check the menu. If it's packed, we assume the food is good, and if it's empty, we keep walking. That empty restaurant might actually have amazing food. It just never got the chance to prove it, because nobody wants to be the first person to sit down and order. That's how YouTube works. We don't want to waste time on something nobody else seems to think is good, even though the good videos might just be buried under bad luck. So, in a way, social proof becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. Videos stay small because they look small. This of course has tons of caveats like framing and anchoring, which are just fancy psychology words for context, like how a video posted less than a day ago with 0 views is totally normal, but if a day passes and the same video is still stuck on 0 views, it instantly starts to feel a bit off. But these nuances only serve to show that we still anchor our judgment to that little number, so much so that the thumbnail and title become secondary. And that makes me want to do a little experiment on you. I got this experiment idea based on that one shoe store campaign that was also a kind of psychology study. Basically, they put the same shoe in 2 different stores. One pair in a bougie expensive store that they paid to promote and just filled it up, made the atmosphere smell like money, you know? And the other in a mid fucking random ass thrift store. Even though it was the exact same product, the way it was framed made a huge difference, with people in the fancy store saying that the shoe was incredible quality, whilst the thrift store was mid.
They're elegant, sophisticated.
I just think it's so classy.
And I could tell it was made with high quality material.
These fashionistas actually paid $200, $400, and even $600 for Payless shoes. But you can get...
Either way, you get the gist. And there are tons of other studies also showing this effect. So, back to my experiment. I'll show you some thumbnails, and all you have to do is pick which one you rather watch. Feel free to pause the video if you want, like, you know, a longer look. And yeah. Ooh, did I manipulate these images? You'll never know. Yeah, I'm just talking to keep like the viewer attention. Yeah. So, what are you looking at when deciding what thumbnail to pick? Now, I don't know your results from this experiment, so I'd very much appreciate if you told me how it did in the comments, but I ran a similar experiment with my friends, and I think it'd be worthwhile to go over the results.
Hello. Could I take 2 minutes of your time?
The exact methodology behind the experiment is posted in the description, but the gist of it goes like this. I ran 2 separate surveys. In the first one, people were shown a mix of high-performing and low-performing videos, exactly as they appear on YouTube. Roughly same view counts, same thumbnails, everything. In the second one, I used the same videos, but I swapped their view counts, so the high-performing ones suddenly looked unpopular, and the low-performing ones looked like viral hits. This way I could see how much little number the view count actually changed people's choices. The results were pretty much what I expected.
These were kind of shit thumbnails for you, weren't they?
No matter how the video performed in reality, the choices were influenced to whatever view count I gave it. On average, the videos labeled with a high view count were picked around 80% of the time.
Wait, no, I'm a fucking dumbass. That was the wrong math. I did the math wrong. Wait, this is the correct one here. 30 something percent, 35, I don't know, 37%. It's still like a 20% difference of effect, which is, you know, not as clickbaity as 80%, but what you know, I need to sensationalize this. Now, obviously, this isn't a perfect study. It's a small sample size of just my friends, which have an incredible bias towards different kinds of videos. That's why I would love to do like bigger experiments like this. So subscribe and like so I can bother y'all with some surveys. But this still shows that that number is powerful. Even though they claim not to see or look at the views, it still influences the behavior. And this applies further because YouTube's algorithm works the same way. If a video gets clicks, YouTube assumes it's good, pushes it out to more people, and that creates even more clicks. It's a feedback loop where popularity becomes proof of quality, and not the other way around. Just bad. Goo goo gaga, goo goo gaga. I don't have enough data yet, but I'd love to go deeper into this topic, like figuring out the point where a video becomes socially proven. My hunch is that once something crosses into the tens of thousands of views mark, people start to judge it more honestly. Kind of like when two restaurants are basically equally full. At that point, you finally start comparing the food and not the crowd. Because when you don't have that social proof to rely on, you have to do something extra, provide some incredible quality or just stand out. And speaking of quality, you might have noticed that the editing has slowed down a bit. And there is a reason for that. I don't have a lot of subscribers, and I don't know how many views this video will have by the time you're watching it, but I can safely assume that, at least at the start, it won't be many. I can't rely on social proof. I can't show you that thousands of other people have already watched it and think the video is at least okay, so instead I have to front load quality. I have to earn your trust with pacing, tone, or quick snappy edits. Not because the algorithm demands it, but because your brain does. Your brain is looking for proof that this video is worth your time. And if the numbers can't provide that, the content has to. But there's a fine balance here. The proof that I can make those quick, flashy edits also sets up an expectation that I will keep doing them. And if I don't, will that make you, the viewer, click off? Now we're getting into some crazy, stupid meta commentary where I am like actively commenting on the video you're watching, which is kind of cool. I raised the topic of those like quick, flashy edits because what you're used to as like maybe the staple of quality, like what Mr. Beast does or whatever, to me, they feel cheap and corporate. There's a difference. There's a difference between like the Mr. Beast edits of like, you know, that like the paper background, weird cartoony fonts, and just editing that makes you like hyper focus because of like movement and shit. And there is the other side of like, I hate to say it, but Marques Brownlee. His are like incredibly well made and consistent with tone, and I struggle to find that. Which is a skill issue, don't get me wrong. But I don't know how to edit these videos from like a tone standpoint. If you notice, the beginning of the video probably started more movie-ish. I don't like that. I don't know how to pace these videos. But maybe the future me will know. Hi, future me, who will appear after this transition. You know, the more I learn and research topics like this, the more I realize how little any single factor actually matters. It's like mistaking the forest for trees. I had one viral video once, and ever since then, I tried to do everything I can to recreate whatever made that one take off. But ironically, it wasn't anything special that I did. It was just luck. I got lucky by being early to a topic and by having a shocking intro that was so unexpected that people couldn't help but click. And once you get those first clicks, everything snowballs. Because if something already looks successful, it becomes successful. Now, I talked about social proof a lot, but it is true that some thumbnails are just more attention-grabbing and better than others. God knows I'll probably make like 10 drafts of the thumbnail for this video. But honestly, I don't think I care anymore. Obviously, I want people to watch and enjoy whatever I make, and yeah, I'd love to make money from it too, but that's kind of secondary to me now. What I really just want to do is make videos about things I find interesting. Whether it be gameplay or videos like this that are like commentary-ish. And I want to make them well. I want people to enjoy them. And yeah, I did get upset when my videos didn't get any views. Ironically enough, my dad called me and asked, "Yo, why aren't you getting any views?" Fucking pissed me off that too. Because it pissed me off because my most popular video is my worst one. And the video I spent the most amount of time on is one of my worst performers. You might have noticed that I didn't call it my best video. That's because my best is still yet to come.